I have an extra special challenge for us today. We're going to combine two hops. The Themes on the 13th hop and the Mix It Up Monday. So, we're going to do that today. Hi, my name is Nikki and I'm with Nikki's Scrapbooking Adventures. Welcome! I am so excited that you are here. Today, we are going to be doing Themes on the 13th, as I'd mentioned. And the challenge this month is to use camping/outdoor collections. So what do we have here? We have Let's Go on an Adventure by Bella Boulevard. I love this collection. The reason I picked up this collection is because it's got foxes, which, adorable. I don't know why. I just am obsessed. It has hot air balloons. Again, an obsession of mine. And then cloud paper. That's really why I picked up this collection. Also, these are my colors. I love these bright, fun, happy colors. So, we're going to do that today. Now, not gonna lie to you, I've been struggling a little bit because Mix It Up Monday means that we need to use some mixed media on our pages. And the sketch today is provided by Misty from Crafty Soup. I'll list her channel below. She is one of my favorites to watch. And this is her sketch that was made available. You may remember it from the hop we did last month to celebrate that she hit 2,000 subscribers. So this is the sketch. The things that I noticed about it are the backgrounds, and I noticed the pictures, okay? 4x6 will not work with this size. Okay, so what I did in preparation for this, I have not yet cut everything out, is I picked my photos, and I saw these photos as the perfect opportunity to go ahead and use them. And then I'm using my photo size guide. I'll link that in the upper right hand corner, so if you just click on that hyperlink, it'll take you straight to the video and you can save it for later or whatever, or you jump to that video too, whatever you want. But essentially what this does is it allows me to determine if I can cut this down. So I can cut this picture to 4x3. I can cut this picture to 4x3. And I can cut this picture to 4x3. So that's going to work really well. Thank you, Photo Size Guides, for helping me do this. Now, one thing that I noticed about my photos is that it's primarily blue and orange. So I'm going to pull those out by matting my photos in blue and orange. And these are just scraps that I had. You know, you pick up scraps wherever you go. So that is going to be my photo mats, which I'm really excited about. I'm excited to double mat. The other thing I did is I had to figure out how I was going to make those diagonals. So I flipped my paper over, and I have no idea if you can tell, but there's pencil marks on the back. I know I'm not going to be using the back side of this paper, so I thought it would be a good idea to go ahead and use my T-square ruler to map out what I was going to do. Well, turns out if you flip it upside down, you have to do the opposite. Duh! But I can show you. This is 2 inches from the top, 2 inches, 4 inches, 2 inches, 2 inches. Okay, so 2, 2, 4, 2, 2. So you know where to mark. This one is going to be 1, 4, 2, 4, 1. Again, 1, 4, 2, 4, 1. Then I realized I was backwards because I really want to use this side of the paper. So I took my pencil and I did it again. I did 2, 2, 4, 2, 2 on the left hand side. And then I'm going to do 1, 4, 2, 4, 1. Now the exciting part. I am going to rip this paper. Yep, I said it, I'm going to rip it. I want to make these diagonals stand out more. So I'm going to rip it. So I'm going to go from that point to this point, and we're going to tear this together. And we're going to see Nikki fail a little bit, I bet. I'm not the best at this. Now this is a tearing ruler, so it'll give me a fancy little edge when I rip it instead of just a straight edge. Because that's part of the reason why I'm doing this, is to get a little bit of a fancier edge. I still want my rip to be straight, but I want it to have a little bit of something something on there. Okay, so that's the top one. The next pencil mark is right there. And I did this in pencil, so if I can still see it after I'm done, I will be able to erase it. Okay, there's that. Starting to take shape a little bit more, right? So you can see the difference. And then we're going to cut this down. So I'm going to show you how to use those photo size guides when we are talking about cutting the photo. So I know for a fact, I already know this, I want husband's head to be the very top there. Let me grab my inker, make sure I've got, or my date stamp, make sure I got my date stamp done before I start doing all this. Okay, so husband's head is the top of the photo, and 4. Okay, so this is where it gets tricky because I think I need this 3 inches to be like that. Okay, so if I cut right next to husband's back, I can get everything I want. So right up against husband's back, and there's the front part. And that looks good. So there's that one. See how I use the photo guide, size guide, to plan where I was going to make my cut? Very helpful. Okay, so I know in my photo size guide, if I do 3, cut this little girl off. Sorry, Chica. And I don't really care about the top of this. So I can go like right there. So you can really see that this is a slide. I think that's really fun. You don't need a full photo to tell your story, right? That's why I tend to print in 4x6, then I am not afraid to cut it down. Okay, this one, where do I want this one? Do I want it like that? Or do I want it in the middle? I think I want it in the middle. Like smack dab in the middle on both sides. Okay, cool. So I'm actually going to keep this in here, and I can move it over to help me line up what I want to do. Okay, and 3. And then, do I want it like that? I do kind of want, I like the idea of having a frame around him. So, do I want to go up further? And I know I want some of the bit down here. I really like this photo. This is actually one of my favorite photos I took this year. Okay, well, there's a couple other ones too. I don't know. My JJ is just so stinking cute. Okay, so there is my photos. Now I've been asked to see how to use my We Are layer guides. So I'm going to walk you through how to do that. This is how I'm going to use it. I've got my 1/8 of an inch lined up here. I'm going to try my hardest to get the 1/8 of an inch to line up with this darker line right here. Then the top and bottom don't really matter because I'm going to cut them off anyway, but that edge really does matter. So So this edge really, really matters. So I'm going to try to line it up as best as I can because I'm going to be using... I'm making this too complicated. This is 6.5. If I cut it in half, it'll be 3.25, which will be perfect for what I'm looking for. I'm making it way too complicated. So there's 3.25. 3.25. Whew. Sometimes you just gotta keep it simple, right? So now I can line these up as best I can on the sides and use my layer guides to do the things. So here is 1/8 of an inch. Top and bottom don't matter because I'm about to cut them off. Oh, and look it, you get to see me change an ATG. I run out quite frequently. Let's see, did I put a date on this? I know I changed it in January. Oh, no date. Okay. I probably go through an ATG roll every 2 weeks or so. Okay, so take that guy off, take this guy off, and get a new roll. And I get these from Tape Jungle. Every once in a while they'll have like a 5 or 10% off deal. Black Friday is actually a good time to get some ATG from them, and I just follow the instructions. I keep the instructions in there so I have them. So I'm going to take my roll and it's going to look like that. And I'm going to line up the pegs. Sometimes you have to rotate to get them to line up. And I'm going to go over the top, under, and over the top. Notice that I press the button to release here. And then I'm going to give myself a little bit extra room. And this one rotates freely. This one does not. That's why you need the trigger. And then I'm just going to go like that. Now there is a sticky bit on here so that if you want to, you can wrap it around the outside. I don't. It keeps it clean. It keeps it tight. It doesn't matter. So then you've got these pokey things that need to go down in the grooves here, and you close it the opposite way of the arrow. And there's that. Now they do have the instructions on here too. So if you do end up losing this piece of paper, you can get it. But essentially it goes down and around. And you close it up. You place your thing down, pull your trigger, and you just kind of wait until it dispenses. And you can tell usually when you're about to run out because it gets harder to pull. Okay, so there's 1/8 of an inch. I'm lining it up again with the line that's the 1/8 of an inch. And I'm sticking it down. Okay, so now if I were to add it to this side, and I'm going to catch that lip instead of just lining it up, this should be flush. And it is. So there's those two. But now I need my X-Acto knife to trim. So I want a full 1/8 of an inch border on every side. Okay. Hopefully you can kind of see what I'm doing. So there's this lip here. I'm going to catch my photo on this lip and press down. Take my X-Acto knife and just run it along that edge. This is like the one tool that has changed my scrapbooking. Absolutely changed it. Because now, instead of guessing where center is on my photo mats, I can do this. That's also why I have this glass mat. Because I can use my X-Acto knife on the surface that I'm scrapbooking on. Downside is that for videoing, you do see the glare of the lights. I apologize. But that is how easy it is. And then these holes here allow me to hang them. And I hang them on the side of a caddy. I actually prefer vertical storage. So my T-square ruler has a hole I hang it. This guy, I actually added one of those tabs you see at stores so I can hang it against the wall. Vertical storage is awesome. I do want to show you this photo mat because it's a little bit different, right? Instead of catching the photo, you're catching the edge of the paper, which can be a little bit more tricky, depending on the thickness of the paper. The thicker the paper, the easier the catch, right? Now this one is not 6.5 wide, so I am going to have to just randomly place it. See, look, I can go like this. Not a big deal. I'm actually going to leave it like that. So instead of catching the edge of the photo, I'm going to go ahead and use the 1/8 of an inch and catch the edge of the paper. So, and then I can just whoosh. So you know what this means, right? Is that you can use scraps of pattern paper. You can tape them to the back of your photo. And then, like, say I wanted like all these scraps, right? I can just like tape them randomly to the back of my photo. And then by the end, I know I have my layer guides that will just trim it nice and even. So that's pretty cool, right? Look at how beautiful and even and perfect that is. Now, say you wanted them to be different widths. You can absolutely do that. Say you wanted to have a 1-inch space here. Well, you can do that. You can absolutely use this 3/8 of an inch, butt it up against the photo, and then cut down there instead. That's a possibility. So if you want it to look like a Polaroid, kind of, totally can do that. Okay, I think I finally figured it out. After much debate, this is kind of going to be my plan, okay? I'm going to take the 3 inner bits and line them up, kind of like that, okay? Not going to keep the cardstock in the background blank, though. I tried multiple different backgrounds, and I liked the green the most. However, the green has my beloved foxes on there, and I feel like I just haven't been able to use this piece of paper yet, and I'm not going to sacrifice it for green. So I'm going to make my own. So I gathered all of my leaf stamps that I have and my Distress Oxide ink, and we're going to make a pattern paper. Whoop whoop. Now it doesn't have to be the whole thing, but if it is the whole thing, not a big deal. I am going to start with my biggest leaf, which I think is probably going to be this one. Well, it's all about the same, isn't it? I'll drag that one. Now, I've never used this stamp before, so I'm going to make sure that there's a lot of ink on there. And I'm just going to stamp up this whole dang thing. Put it in different orientations all across my page, going off the page where I can. It does not matter to me doesn't matter. I'm just randomly stamping. Okay. Now I'm doing leaves because this picture is taken in the fall, so I guess I probably should do fall colors, but I liked the continuity of a single color when I was testing out which background. So I know for a fact that I want I want the background to be the same color. That's what I know. Now, I have a glass mat on here, so I really don't care about outside stamping. Oops, I have a big gold. Notice that I'm secondary stamping, I'm third generation stamping, I'm first generation stamping. And I'm just going to move those out. I guess this is the one I really should have started with, huh? Because this has a big, wide deal. Okay, let's check it because my spaces are getting very limited. Let's see where we're at. I'm gonna wipe this up real quick. Super easy to do with Distress Oxides. I can just add water to everything. Take a dirty towel. This in case is it's a diaper rag or whatever. Left over from my son, who doesn't need it anymore. So mommy needs it. See how easy that is to clean off? Super easy. Thank you, Distress Oxides. I will say if you're going for perfection, Distress Oxide ink is not the way to go for stamping. But in this case, I'm not going for perfection. Okay. So now, when we put these back on, what I might do is to accentuate the edge is add a little bit of ink on the edges, on those torn edges. Well, I ended up finishing my page. I also changed a couple things. So on the background, I wasn't happy with the fact that my stamping was just on white paper. So what I did is I took a blending brush and I used shabby shutters on the background when just kind of went everywhere, so that instead of a white or green on white background, I had a green on green background, and that green is just a little bit lighter so you can really see the leaves pulling through. I also picked stickers that were monkeys instead of sticking with the fox theme. I just really thought the monkeys were cute and expressed that he was climbing and then slid down the slide. I really like how this turned out. I ended up making my own background paper, which is definitely a plus and something that you can do and mix it up as well. Well, I hope you liked this layout. Go ahead and check everybody else who's playing along with the themes on the 13th and then also with the Mix It Up Monday. I hope you have a wonderful day. Please like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you next time.